What are you making?
What's it look like? A white flag.
What for?
Well, if I have to take your list of demands to the screws, I'm not crossing no man's land without some sort of protection.
Oh, you don't think they're going to fire on you, you silly old bag?
I'm not taking any chances. They'll never shoot at a white flag. It's an international sign of peace. My late husband, Blossom Birdsworth's brother Cyril, used one a lot in the last war.
What happened to him?
He got shot.
All right, Lizzie, go on. There's nothing to worry about. You've got your right flag. You'll be right as rain.
Yeah, that's what Cyril thought.
It's Lizzie. Why is she coming out? To negotiate, of course. They said they wanted to.
Don't shoot. It's me, Lizzie. I come in peace.
It's all right, Lizzie. Keep coming.
Lizzie, is that Birdsworth?
Yes, that's Birdsworth.
G'day, Mrs. Davidson.
Are you all right, Lizzie?
Of course I am, Mrs. M. I don't mind telling you how the wind up coming across through all them bright lights.
How are things in the prison?
Oh, just the same, Mrs. Davidson. They're a mad lot. They wouldn't know their elbows from their... Now, if B had been in charge of this, things would have been different. All this would have been over now, and we would have all known where we stood.
Well, you're better off out of it. And you can stay here until it's over.
Oh, not you too. That's what Sandy said. But I haven't come over here to stay.
You mean they said you could stay here?
Yeah. Look, I mightn't have anything to do with the riot. But listen, I can't cop out on them because they're me mates.
Well, why are you here?
Oh, they picked me to bring you over this. It's a list of their demands or something. But I got to go back.
Well, Lizzie, when you go back, tell them we will only discuss their demands when they hand back the prison, release the hostage, and everything is back to normal.
Okay, Mrs. Davidson, I'll tell them. I don't know what good it'll do. Anyway, here I go again.
No, I'm afraid you don't.
What are you talking about?
You are Elizabeth Josephine Birdsworth?
Of course I am. Who do you think I am, the Queen of Sheba?
Well, I have a warrant here, and you're coming back with me.
What, now? Tonight?
Sergeant, can't this wait until things are back to normal?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Davidson.
Lizzie's got to go back and tell them what Mrs. Davidson said.
I don't think so. She said herself she's not expected back.
But, Sergeant!
Goodbye, Mrs. Davidson. Come along, Birdsworth.
Don't leave me alone.
Open the gate.
Is your name Elizabeth Josephine Birdsworth?
Yes, Your Worship, that's right.
I represent the defendant, Your Worship.
Thank you, Mr. Oliver. Elizabeth Josephine Birdsworth, you are charged under Section 197 of the Crimes Act that at Flemington on the 21st day of October 1981, you intentionally and without lawful excuse did destroy property belonging to another, to wit a dwelling house situated at 8 Blackwood Drive, by setting fire to such dwelling and did thereby commit arson. Do you understand the charge?
Not exactly, but I think I know what you're getting at.
In simple terms, Mrs. Birdsworth, you are charged with burning someone else's house.
Oh, no, that's not right, Your Worship.
Your Worship, my client understands the nature of the charge and will plead not guilty.
The court will record a plea of not guilty. Is that correct, Mrs. Birdsworth?
Yeah, Your Worship, not guilty.
Thank you. You may sit down.
In other words, you saw the defendant place a bottle in her rubbish bin, and when the police took it out, you realized it was a kerosene bottle.
I suspected much earlier.
You are on oath, Mrs. Powell. We are not interested in your suspicions or other guesses. You know the defendant, don't you?
Yes.
And you were most upset by the fire next door.
Well, of course I was. It could have spread to my place.
Pity it didn't.
Silence, Mrs. Birdsworth.
And what do you intend to do with the property, Mr. Humphrey?
I think that's my business.
It is the court's business, Mr. Humphrey.
I have no plans for the property.
Is that why you submitted an application to the local council for rezoning to permit the construction of villa units?
Your worship, this is intolerable. I'm the one being put on trial now.
You miserable bastard! Trying to drive me crazy so you could tear down Sid's lovely house. You mongrel!
Mrs. Birdsworth.
Well, he is. Look at him. Trying to drive poor old women crazy so that he can make a quib. He ought to be the one that's locked away.
Please.
Well...
Sit down, Mrs. Birdsworth.
I was right. And I'm glad you didn't get your rotten paws on Sid's house. Does anyone know what's going on?
There's a lot of conflicting evidence about ownership, which should have been cleared up by the prosecution before coming to this court. But the weight is quite clearly in favor of the defendant at the time of the fire. Consequently, I find myself in the situation of being unable to proceed with this case. I therefore have no option but to dismiss the charge. You may go, Mrs. Birdsworth.
What do you mean?
The charge against you has been dismissed.
You mean I got off?
Yes.
You bloody ripper! Ooh.
Quite.
Still don't understand all that legal stuff. Oh, I thought I was a goner when he started spouting off about the will.
Well, the most important thing is that you're free, Lizzie, and I'm really happy for you.
It was worth $1 million just to see that bloody Gordon's face when they told me I'd been let off.
Speak of the devil.
What do you want?
You think you're pretty damn clever, don't you? Well, I'm not through with you yet. That verdict was ridiculous. Della, you ought to be locked up. If not in Wentworth, at least someplace where you can't get at decent people.
Just a minute. How dare you speak to Lizzie like that?
Yeah, and if you do it again, I'll forget I'm a lady and I'll knock your bloody block off.
People like you don't belong in our society.
That is enough.
And people like you don't belong on the face of the earth. Frightening an old lady to an early grave, you ought to be horsewhipped.
Well, if you'd left in the first place when I made those phone calls instead of hanging around like a leech, we wouldn't be arguing over a pile of ashes, would we?
So you did make the phone calls?
There you are. What did I tell you?
A very interesting admission, Mr. Humphrey.
Yes, it certainly is.
Who the hell are you?
Senior Detective Olson, Special Branch.
I'm clean. It's official.
We know that, Mrs. Birdsworth. But certain information was brought up at the trial that some of my colleagues think needs investigation.
Oh, you're damn right. Letting a woman like her get off scot-free. What are you going to do about it?
I'm afraid you've missed the point, Mr. Humphrey. Scaring an old lady out of her wits with threats and terror tactics to get your hands on something that doesn't belong to you sounds very much like extortion.
You must be joking.
Would you like to come along with me, sir? A few questions we'd like to ask you.
Oh, look, this is all a mistake. I haven't committed any crime.
You can make a...
Wacko, I've done it. I beat the system, Mrs. M. Fancy an old bird like me cracking it. Oh, God, I wish B was here. That'd cure her next to no time.
We will see each other again, Lizzie, you know.
I know. Just being a bit of a sook.
Look, here's a couple of numbers I think you should have. One's for the Senior Citizens Community Centre, and the other one's for Myra Desmond, you know, from the Prison Reform Group. Now, you ring her if you need anything.
Yeah. You've been a real good sport to me, Mrs. M. I wish I could think of some way I could say thank you.
If you want to thank me, Lizzie, you have a good life. And don't come back to Wentworth.
I won't. I promise. Say goodbye to Mrs. Davis.
Goodbye.
Are you all right, Mrs. Birdsworth?
G'day. I haven't got a reservation, but I'd like a room.
Just sign the register. That's a single, Mrs. Birdsworth.
Elizabeth Birdsworth. I have never stayed here before, but looks real good on the outside. I've just come down from Mooloolaba, you see.
Really?
I've been staying with my daughter. You're not going to believe this, but I haven't had a holiday for 20 or 30 odd years. Am I going to enjoy myself? I'm going to put my feet up and just...
Well, I'm sure you'll have a nice day. Now, do you want some help with your things?
Oh, no, thank you, love. I can manage. You just point me in the right direction.
Let's take the stairs to the first floor and turn right. Your room's the second on the left.
Righto.
Mrs. Birdsworth.
Yeah?
You'll need the key.
Oh. I forget my head if it wasn't screwed on. Oh, beauty! Is that me second?
Actually, it's your third.
Oh, well, you better keep your eye on me because four's me limit. Put 'em on me tab, room 17. Put $1 on for yourself.
Ta, how was the meal?
Oh, real good. Why don't you sit down for a bit?
Sorry, it's not allowed.
Oh, they really keep you hopping, don't they? Must be murder on your poor feet.
Well, I better get these out to the kitchen. We're short-staffed.
Yeah, off you go. Oh, that's a good drop. Can't beat a good drop of scotch to warm the cockles of your heart, can you?
No.
I haven't had a good drop of scotch since I was out Long Reach way. Oh, there's some nice pubs out there.
Yes, I've heard. Excuse me.
G'day, love.
G'day.
You mind if I sit down?
If you like.
My name's Lizzie. What's yours?
Errol.
Errol? Just like Errol Flynn? Oh, there was a hunk of a bloke if ever there was one.
Yeah? I never saw him.
Oh, you don't know what you missed. Oh, you're not going already, are you? I haven't even bought you a drink. Hey, Ernie, fetch me another scotch and get something here for Errol and put on me slate.
Right, Mrs. Birdsworth. That's very kind of you.
Oh, seeing we're drinking in the same bar, we might as well have a chat, eh?
Look, missus, I can't sit here drinking your shouts all the time.
Rubbish. Set us up again, will you, Ernie?
It's not that I wouldn't shout you, it's just that, well, I'm a bit broke at the moment. See, I had to pay the doctor for me brother.
The one you told me about. The nutcase.
Oh, he's not a nutcase. He's just a bit simple. He had a bit of an accident, see, and, well, the old man couldn't pay the doctor's bills.
Was he out of work?
Yeah. And he likes a drink, or three.
Don't we all?
Will this go on your account, Mrs. Birdsworth?
Yes, love, room 17.
It's not that the old man doesn't want to work. He just has a few too many in the pub at lunchtime, and then he forgets where he's working.
Yeah, I've done that once or twice myself.
It's a real pity about me brother's accident, though. Taking all me cash like that. Just when Mum's birthday's coming up, too.
You can't afford to buy her a present.
No. Oh, but I'll get her something, I'll tell you that much. Just between you and me, I reckon there's a lot of easy money just waiting to be picked up. Look at Ernie's cash till over there. There must be hundreds in it. And I'd do it, too, for Mum. Well, she's worth it.
Don't you talk like that. You'll only end up in the slammer. Then you'd only see your poor old mum once every visiting day.
Well, what the hell am I supposed to do? I can't find any work.
Listen, Errol, you're a good young bloke. Any woman would be proud to have you for a son. You've been real good to me, helping me while away a lonely afternoon. I want you to do something for me. I want you to go out and to buy something real nice. Something that your mum would really love to have.
Hey? No, now I can't do that.
Of course you can, and you will.
Jeez. Lady, you're a real mate.
Mrs. Birdsworth? Mrs. Birdsworth,
What? What's the matter?
why don't you go back to your room and lie down?
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
Mrs. Birdsworth, come on. Let's give you a hand.
Yeah.
There we are.
Why not?
Up there, come on.
Let's dance. There's nice music. Get him to play the Gay Gordons.
Right.
Send up a bottle of grog to my room and charge it.
Oh, no, take it easy. Right.
Get him to play the Shearer's Fancy, boys.
That's right, Mrs. Birdsworth. Time for Betty buys, eh?
I'll have you know I'm a respectable lady. I reckon I had a few too many, don't you?
Yeah, around about 20. Here we are,
Oh,
love.
God.
Sleep it off now, eh?
Oh, lights out. Good night, Bee. Good night, door. Oh. Young fella. I ought to have me head read. Would you please pour me another drink, Ernest?
Hang on a minute.
Hell with hanging on, I want a bloody brandy.
Look, you've had enough to float an oil rig. Don't you reckon you ought to call it a day?
I'll call it a day when I feel like calling it a day. Now give me another bloody drink.
Now, listen, why don't you go up to your room and have a bit of a sleep for a while? Then I'll give you another brandy.
I want one now, and I'm not going to budge until I bloody get one.
Well, this better be the last one. I don't have to put you to bed again.
I'm quite capable of putting myself to bed. What do I want to go to bed for? It's the middle of the bloody day.
It's a pretty big bill you're running up here. Hope you're flush.
Of course I am. No worries. I'm just a poor old loner.
What was that?
I got no friends. I got no money.
Listen, you just told me you were all right for money.
I got none.
You've run up a hell of a bill here. What are you going to do about it?
I don't know.
What about that friend of yours you were going to contact?
I got no friends. All my mates.
You've told me about her before, remember?
Oh, yeah. Mara Desmond.
Couldn't she help you out with some money? To help you to pay your bill here?
Yeah. I've got her address here.
I'd try and find her if I were you.
Yeah. I'll do that. After I've had another drink.
Look, I can't serve you now. I've got to see someone. Oh, Mr. Kirk, it's Ernie here. Look, I thought I'd better let you know. One of the guests, well, she's not a bad old bird, and I feel a bit sorry for her, but she's been ordering drinks on the cuff. She's getting a bit soused, and now she tells me she's broke. Well, she says she's got a friend who'll lend her some money, but I think you better come down and talk to her yourself. Well, how can I keep her here if I can't give her another drink? Well, all right, but you better come down straight away, or she'll pass out on you. You won't be able to talk to her.
Where you going?
I'll tell you in a flaming minute when I find the address. Oh, it's gone.
Lost the address. Where you going?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I think I can remember it. It was a colour.
Huh?
The name of a street was a colour. That's right. White Street, number 21.
Okay. Do you mind closing the door?
If you're a bloody gentleman, you'd close it yourself.
Hey, lady. Hey, wake up.
What are you doing? Mauling me.
God, I'd have to be desperate. There's no Myra Desmond at this address.
I told you, 21 White Street.
This is 21 White Street. There's no Myra Desmond here, and they've never heard of her.
I remember it was a colour. Yeah. Maybe it was Black Street. Yeah, that's right. Black Street. Or perhaps it was Green Street.
Yeah, or blue or red or yellow. Listen, lady, it's going to cost you a packet if I have to run around looking for the right address.
Oh, Myra will lend me the money to pay you.
What's that? Lend you the money? Haven't you got anyone?
Only a couple of bob. Myra will give it to you.
We could spend all day looking for her. You owe me $7 already.
What for? You haven't got me to where I'm going yet. Take me to 21 Black Street.
Like hell. Listen, lady, I'm not running around all day with you with no money, right? I'll take you home. You can pay me there. Right, where do you live?
Wentworth.
What was that?
Wentworth Detention Centre.
Wentworth Detention Centre? That's a bloody prison.
That's right.
You old...
Sleeping Beauty, is she? Come on, end of the ride. Come on.
I'm not going to say welcome back, Lizzie. In fact, I'm very sorry to see you here at all.
Oh, Mrs. Davidson, it wasn't my fault this time.
Oh?
I reckon that taxi driver should have given me a fair go, and that hotel manager.
Well, you couldn't pay them, and they were entitled to their money.
Yeah, but it wasn't as though I'd nicked something, was it? I mean, I was the one that was robbed. I can kick myself when I think that I was taken in by that con man.
Yes, well, you should have been more careful.
He seemed such a nice young bloke, too. Well, you wouldn't think an old lag like me could get taken in by one, would you?
What do you think you're up to?
Oh, shouldn't do that to me, Mrs. Powell. You know I've got a wee ticker.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do with that lot?
Oh, Mrs. Davidson gave me permission to make a birthday cake for Bee's surprise party.
A cake? What, sardines, crackers and mushrooms?
It's an old bush recipe.
Put them back.
Oh, you haven't got any heart, Mrs. Powell. You just wait till it's your birthday. We won't even give you a present.
Do me a favour. You're going to use that recipe, don't make me a cake either.
Have a look and see what you can padlock while I put the potato peelings in.
Potato peelings? Are you off your head?
Padlock, you know, potatoes ferment real quick. Oh, they'll give us a real good kick.
Well, have you set that thermostat? We don't want it exploding all over the ceiling.
Well, that should keep it warm without it overheating. Now, what have we got in there? Oh, this should come in handy. Oh, what's this?
Hey, it's copper. That's good.
Oh, at this rate, we soon have everything we need.
Well, I think I can put it together okay. I went over it all a couple of times with Jude.
You little beauty!
Lizzie, look. They've even supplied us with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, but we can't come in here every time we feel like a snort.
Well, don't worry. When this is full, we'll just swap it over with an extinguisher closer to home.
Supposing we fill all the extinguishers, that'll be just like having a pub on every corner.
Oh, you little beauty!
Come on, speed it up, Smart. The others will be out of the dining room in a minute. Just a minute.
Oh, make up your mind.
Lizzie? Lizzie, are you okay? Okay, Birdsworth, up. Come on, wake up.
Oh, God. Oh, my head.
And whose fault is that? Come on, get up.
Mrs. Powell, I know what you're thinking.
Right.
But you're wrong.
Oh, you're rotten drunk, Birdsworth.
No, Mrs. Powell. I'm just terribly, terribly tired.
Listen, if we get through here quickly, we can go down to the boiler room and get some booze.
As long as old Poleface doesn't hang around.
You got the key?
Oh, of course I have.
Come along, ladies, quickly. We're running late enough as it is. Good heavens, is that all you've done? Oh, that does it. We haven't got time for ourselves now. I'll do a meatloaf and you two get on to the veggies.
Oh, no, we can do it.
Yeah, of course we
Come
can.
on, ladies, I haven't got time to argue.
All right, Mrs. O'Regan, this seems to be in order.
Oh, thanks, Mrs. Powell.
What are you up to, Birdsworth?
Oh, I'm just mixing the onions around with this meat, Mrs. Powell.
Well, would you do the vegetables like Mrs. O'Regan said?
Bloody thing fell in. I told you Mrs. O'Regan made me jump and it just fell out of me hands.
Well, how are we going to get it back?
I just have to pass the word around, and if anyone finds it, they'll have to cough it up.
You're forgetting one thing, aren't you? That meatloaf is going off to the screws, too. Now, what happens if one of them finds it?
Oh, God. I never thought of that.
I'll tell you one thing. We've got to get that key back before it leaves the kitchen.
These are ready to come out.
I'll help you, Mrs. O'Regan?
Oh, yeah, we don't want you straining yourself.
I reckon I'd be a lot fitter than what you are, Lizzie.
Oh, they look delicious. Yum, yum. Any luck?
No.
Hurry up.
Can't get any faster.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm just seeing if it's cooked, Mrs. O'Regan.
I'll be the one to decide if it's cooked or not. And it is. Just look at the mess you made of it.
Oh, well, I'll be fine.
Leave it alone. Won't be fit for human consumption.
Well, don't want you to ruin your record.
The governor sent to remind me she wants an early lunch today.
Good heavens, I completely forgot. Slice me some meatloaf, will you?
Mr. Faulkner, this is Susan Driscoll's file. It can be kept in reception now till she's going to be released.
I was just seeing if it was cooked proper.
She could have choked on it.
What?
She could be dead at her desk.
Don't be stupid, Lizzie. Oh, I reckon they'll bring back capital punishment for anyone who murdered a prison governor.
Maybe you better go and get that tray, huh?
I don't want to find her dead.
For God's sake, Lizzie. All right, I'll do it. Mrs. O'Regan?
Yes?
I was one... Oh, nothing.
Look at that. Give her a decent meal and what does she do? Leaves half of it. Didn't you like the meatloaf?
I'm sure she would have, if she hadn't found that one running her fingers through it.
What?
No, I didn't.
Clean it up.
Oh, I just wanted to see if it was cooked properly.
Well, that does it. I refuse to have my work supervised by some bush cook.
Oh, don't be like that, Mrs. O. I always thought that your cooking was bonza.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Oh, you know, she's always saying how hungry she got in here today. It builds up your appetite, all this work.
Oh, you're revolting. Come on, hurry up, you two. You'll miss your rec period.
Just get going. I'll finish off by myself. Be less trouble in the long run.
For God's sake, don't swallow it.
Down by the old mill stream, where I first met you. You know, I've felt like this since VE day.
Hey, Lizzie, what's wrong? You in pain or something?
Bloody cheek.
Birdsworth, it's all right, Burns. Go back to sleep.
You know something? You're a bit all right too, Miss Ferguson. My bloody oath you are.
Oh, it must be hard for you, Lizzie, not being able to get a drink in here. But you all laid in quite a supply a while back, didn't you?
Did we what? And you should have seen the poor old screws looking for it. They were looking everywhere, but we fooled them.
Did you?
Yeah, they gave up at the finish. And you know something? It was right under their noses in the old boiler in the boiler room. Oh, sure.
See?
Oh, God.
See, are you all right?
Oh, God. Let me die. Kill me. Get it over.
You on the booze, Lizzie?
Who, me? I haven't touched a drop since...
Oh, she's been on it all right.
But how?
My head
Now,
hurts.
come on, where did you get it?
The freak. Until he died, she offered me a whole bottle. Scotch it was. Black label or something. Oh, God, who cares except me? Oh, guts.